Guys, let's fire this up. We got a brand new week of thick, juicy, probably a little bit spicy real estate content coming your way. And I know that you're thrilled for it. I'm thrilled for it. He is kind of so-so. Yeah, you're kind of so-so on it. So the title of this video is The Golden Rule is Gone. And that makes me sad. To recap, take you back to your childhood, but it is a rule that we should also use in adulthood. The golden rule states that you should do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. And this is a fairly simple rule. Despite many people probably thinking I'm a, unsightly, unpleasant human, I actually follow the golden rule because I believe in it. I don't screw people because I would not want them to do that to me. The real estate industry and the whole housing market in general right now has forgotten about the fucking golden rule, everyone. And this is insanity. And we need things to balance out. I am telling you right now, I was just talking to a lender, Tony. I don't think Tony watches this, but he was dropping off a bottle of booze actually as a gift. And we're saying, man, I'm so ready for these damn interest rates to raise. Seriously, don't jack them up to a point where no one can afford anything. But let's get those damn things up, man. Get them up to 4%, whatever, somewhere in that range. Because we got to balance this shit out. Because we got a lot of people that have forgotten that this is still a society. Seriously. I mean, people have lost their mind. Let me give you a couple of examples of sellers and landlords having too much power right now. One would be, I brought you this story last week of some clients of mine, a cop and a nurse, who their appraisal on their new build came back $28,000 short. And that is because of either the stupidity, aka incompetence, or greediness of the builder and the seller. And, it's funny, right? Because everyone likes to do good deeds when it's easy to do good deeds. And then you start to see people's true colors. And I feel so bitter saying this. Believe it or not, I'm actually not a particularly pessimistic person. I try to see the best in people. I really do. I give people the benefit of the doubt. And now it's up to you to sink or swim, live up to it, right? But you start to see people's true colors when pressed a little bit. Because this was a builder who they had a first responder thing, right? Where they're to thank you for your service, we give you $1,000 off your closing costs. Cool. Great. I'll take it, man. That sounds awesome. Well, not me, but for them, it sounds awesome. Hey, it drops their closing costs from whatever, $5,000 down to $4,000. Cool. Dope. Awesome. So, let's give the pat on the back to the first responders. And then as soon as the appraisal comes back and it's oh, this one didn't go our way, it's $28,000 low. And I go back to them and I'm like, you do remember that this is a nurse and a cop, right? Honest, hardworking people, but unfortunately not necessarily the highest paid professions in the world. Story for a different time, right? But it's they're not just sitting on tens of thousands of dollars to pay above and beyond what something is worth. One, that would just not be smart anyway. Two, it's not even really an option. And of course, what does the builder do now that things are not going their way? Yeah, we're not going to budge. We're not going to budge. It's so that whole we want to do good, we want to help our heroes and all that kind of shit. Not when you start getting pressed, you don't, right? And that behavior that I've seen from that builder right now, this is the exact shit that I'm talking about, where it's look, we need some power to get removed from people like that. They simply have too much influence because they know right now that they can say, hey, you either pay the extra $28,000 or don't, because we'll go find someone else who will. They probably will. It's still a little bit of a tough sell, but they probably will. But again, you're seeing true colors come out. Because unfortunately, money has the ability. Money is not the root of all evil. It does not matter what anyone tells you. No, it's not. But it is good at corrupting people who are susceptible to being corrupted. Good people are cool with it. Doesn't matter. Throw $1 billion at Warren Buffett, he still lives in the same house, right? From the 70s or whatever. But shitty people get corrupted with money. Another case of sellers simply having too much power. This is our other deal from hell right now. It is another new construction project, and the house was supposed to be ready in November. This is just the cliff notes, right? Because this is an ongoing one that we're trying to fight our way through. House was supposed to be ready at Thanksgiving. Okay, now it's February right now, everyone. And so you're like, what is that, like 2.5 months late? That is correct. And because of that, my guys are having to extend their interest rate lock, which costs money, okay? And the only reason that they are in a position of having to go out of pocket to extend their interest rate normally wouldn't matter, right? You would just let the interest rate expire, but because the interest rates have climbed, that interest rate that they got 90 days ago now, that thing really matters. And we need that thing to hold up because it's part of what makes the deal possible versus the higher interest rates of today. And so ultimately, because this builder will wind up in the neighborhood of 3 months late, and I said, hey, after 3 months of us cooperating with you and you stringing us along and putting us through all kinds of bullshit, we're going to ask you guys to give us a credit at closing for that XYZ amount of money that it's going to cost to extend the rate. And they're like, yeah, not going to happen. And I'm like, hang on. So you're telling me knowingly, this being your, like, we didn't make you delay construction. We haven't made you late. What have we done to make you 3 months late on your fucking house? Nothing. So because you're months late and it's going to cost my guys money, because you know it's a seller's market, you're like, yeah, we're not going to contribute anything to that. That's just shitty human behavior. Like, it's just wrong. Like, it's just wrong. Because if you were in our position, you would go, clearly the right thing to do here is be like, we apologize. It's been 3 months that we've been saying your house is going to be done any day now, and 3 months later is roughly when it's going to wrap up. It's like, well, that's just shit. Like, that's just bullshit. Of course we'll throw you a credit at closing. Of course. We apologize. We want to do our best to make it right, but it's not what they're going to do. So guys, here's the point in this. This is a little bit, if I'm being perfectly honest, these 2 weeks of videos for me are a bit of a therapy session. I don't really care if anyone watches these. To be frank with you, I just need to get this stuff out. You guys are just my therapist right now, but like, this is wrong, right? We need the landlords who are jacking up rents at astronomical rates and pricing people out of, like, having, like, you know, single moms getting priced out of, like, where the fuck am I going to live with my kid? Like, I'm a working woman and I have a kid and, like, I can't even afford the damn rent anymore. To the builders taking advantage of appraisals and these timelines and all this kind of stuff. Like, we need them to get knocked down, guys. The only way that that happens is interest rates have to go up. Okay, I'm telling you, we're all gonna win if that happens. And part of us winning is sellers and builders getting knocked down a couple notches to the point where it's like, oh, it takes a little longer for us to sell things because more things are sitting a little bit longer because it's more expensive to borrow the money is kind of what it comes down to, right? So it's like, guys, I know it seems like it sucks that interest rates are going up and are gonna continue to go up. We need this to happen. The world is at an imbalance point where it's like, we cannot sustain this. Like, this shit is unacceptable human behavior. And the only way to get at these people is to hit them in the pocketbook, okay? You have to hit their wallet if you're gonna get them to change their behavior right now. It sucks, but it is what it is. I'm done. I ain't got nothing else to say on that. A quickie here. So you will notice these 3 bottles. I have some others, but that are upstairs. But so I'm forging knives with a client of ours. I don't think Edgar watches or Olivia watches this, but if they do, hi guys. They were clients of ours locally here. We closed in their house and we're forging knives on a Saturday night. Great time. We had a nice time. And Edgar was like, "Have you ever had soju?" And I was like, "No, I've never had soju. I don't even know what that is." And so he went knowing who he was coming to hang out with, right? Me and a good old bladesmith there, Nate, and he busts this out. So apparently this is the most popular alcoholic drink in the world by a wide margin, everyone. And it's actually Korean. So like, this is essentially the alcohol of Asia for all intents and purposes. I know it's not technically correct, but go with me, right? This is like the Korean alcohol, and it's the alcohol that really dominates most of Asia. It's unlike anything I've ever had. I really enjoyed it. That night as we were sipping on it, I'm like, this is incredibly pleasant. And you try to describe what it is, and it's like, man, I don't know how to tell you like what this is like. So it has different flavors. This is grape, green grape. There's plum, there's strawberry, I got apple, there's some other, flavors, there's non-flavored ones. But so this bottle's 13% alcohol. I crunched the numbers on this, everyone, because I'm a psycho. So this per volume is about a third of the alcohol density of like a standard bourbon, which would be about 40% alcohol or 80 proof. And so one of these bottles will equate to about 4 ounces of like sort of standard non-high proof bourbon. And it is tasty. It's more like a vodka. It's like almost like a flavored vodka, except there's no harshness to it. It's just good. It's just really good and refreshing. In the winter, it's probably a little weird, but in the summer, man, this stuff is going to be fantastic. So I got a few bottles of it. They're not much. They're like $5. These are like $5, $6. And this is the really popular brand. I don't know if they say it, Jinro. It looks like Jinro, Jinro. I don't know. Very tasty though. A staggering amount of calories. These are not carbonated or anything, but again, me being susceptible to liking to look into stuff and run numbers and stuff, this bottle has like 450 calories in it. That's insane. It's insane how calorically dense this is. It's not even sugar. There's no sugar in it. It's just 450 empty calories. So you don't want to drink these often, because they're definitely going to add up. But like on a Saturday night in the summer over some like brats or something, and brats is probably wrong, but like, I don't know, some chicken and rice or something like that, sushi. Oh man, this would be great with sushi. So anyway, guys, check it out. If you've never heard of soju, highly recommend it. It was a nice, pleasant surprise, something that I had never heard of that I found to be quite pleasant. So check out some soju if you're in a place where you can get that. Beyond that, subscribe to the channel, all the thumbs ups on the videos, the comments. Even if you're just making fun of me for being in a bad mood for a couple weeks now, that's fine. You can comment with whatever you want. I'm pretty good about replying to people's comments, or if you have questions, anything like that. You guys take care. Have a nice rest of the week. We'll see you soon.